few months back, we reviewed the Hiphi X, and it was and still is the most expensive car made in China. Now they've released their second production car, the Hiphi Z. I don't know how to describe it, I've lost for words, but if you watch Dragon Ball and you know the character Frieza, it actually looks something like that. I think this car looks something like from the future, and I think the color combination of this car is quite bold, really suitable for the styling of this car. If we're saying the Hiphi X is a hell of a statement of a car, I think this is something else. At the front of the car, you have a line of daily running lights. Same as the Hiphi X, you have a programmable LED lights here as well. When stationary, you can show different animations here. For example, we've chosen it to show pedestrians first, and also you have these dragon-like scaling effects here. It's not really just for show, it actually acts as a purpose. When you're driving at high speed, it opens up to cool the engine at the front, also aids aerodynamic of the car. Now moving down the side, you have 22-inch alloy wheels as standard. Actually, they're forged wheels that weighs lighter than your normal alloy wheels. For an extra option, you can get these wheel covers. I think this is really useful in a city like London. If you're trying to parallel parking, that's going to help you rather curving these expensive alloys. These tires are PSEV designed specifically for electric vehicles. You've got 255, 45R22 and actually 8285 for the rear tires. And these ones cost 2,000 RMB each, and the ones at the rear, it costs 3,000 RMB each. On the side here, you have a line of LED panel. When it's locked, it shows the animation right here. There is actually no door handle at all. The door opening is right here, just need to click that button and it opens up. This LED panel is actually programmable as well. For example, you can put your name up on here or whatever you want really. If I want to close the door, I can press that button or I can push this in. All cars come with soft closing doors. And you have a purple trim down there as well. Other than that, you have a kind of a floating effect roof similar to the Hiphi X. Now at the back here, I think it's even more bold and aggressive, to be honest. You have a braking light here, and then you have a rear spoiler here, and it opens up automatically when you go above 80 kilometers an hour. You have these programmable LED light panels similar to the ones at the front that shows the animation of your choice. Boot is right here. Now, the opening of the boot is huge, so accessing the boot itself is quite easy, but there is quite a load lift here. So if you're carrying anything heavy, you might have to lift it up a bit. Inside here, you have a 12-volt socket here. You can put in vacuum, whatever, to clean the car. You can fold the back doors, pushing the button here to give you a sort of loading bay. Charging pad is actually here. This car has 120 kilowatts battery as standard, and it charges from 20% to 80% in less than an hour at supported charging stations. It also has a breezing kind of light here, so when you're charging, it actually flashes at different lights. When it's fully charged, it all goes to a green kind of color. Now, safety-wise, this car has a laser at the top as standard, and it also has 12 millimeter wave radars and a number of ultrasonic radars, as well as your cameras on the side. But unfortunately, it doesn't really come with a autopilot as standard. You have to pay 30,000 RMB as an option. This car starts from 610,000 RMB for the 5-seat version, and this one is the 4-seat version, and it costs from 630,000 RMB. That's roughly 90,000 US dollars. It's definitely not cheap, and it puts it up to actually the second most expensive car made in China, just behind his little brother, the Hiphi X. Once you come inside, you just need to lightly press on the brake and the door closes automatically, and then your seat goes back to your previous setting. In front of me there is a 2-spoke steering wheel. It's covered by Napa leather inside, and it's actually a special kind of paint in here as well. I can see there is some sort of a pearl effect. It looks rather nice. The steering wheel itself, it's got haptic feedback buttons on here, and it looks rather like a PlayStation or PS controller. Some people see it as a big toy. Now you have these flappy paddles here as well. This is not for changing gears, of course, because this is a fully electric car. It's actually for your driving modes. You can change to, for example, standard, sport, etc, etc. As you can see, there is no driver's display, or instead you've got a head-up display up here. Then in the middle you have 15-inch OLED screen here. That's your kind of control center, your infotainment system. This screen has got these robotic arms, so you can control it, you can move it to the driver's side or the passenger side if he or she is watching any videos here. This screen has a race model, so you just need to press this button here and the whole screen goes vertical rather than horizontal, and then it shows all the information that you need to be on a racing track. For example, your G meter and your speedo here. And to exit, you just need to press this exit button and it goes back. There are not many physical buttons on here. You can control your windows on the side, and they're actually touch sensitive. For example, you can do it like this and it goes up. The actual controls for your steering wheel and your rear view mirrors are all controlled in here. For example, you can move it upwards or backwards to suit your driving style. There is also a range option, so once you click it, it actually limits the power output of the car and gives you more range. Right here you can see a car same to the car that you're actually driving as well. It's not really just for show. So for example, you can open the door here, just click this button over here, you can drag it and to control it to open up to any angle that you want. And don't worry about actually hitting the door, because you've got many sensors on the side. Before it actually hits anything, it will stop. And you can also close your window right here and to any degree that you want by just dragging it up and down. Down here you have a wireless charging pad for your phone and your key as well. You have your gear here, which is kind of a crystal effect. It's really small, simplistic look. Down here you only got one cup holder. The other cup holder is right here, and it actually eats into your armrest space, but you can open it right here, a really small space. I've driven the Hiphi X, and I have to say these seats in the Hiphi Z is a lot more comfortable than the X. It's covered in Napa leather right here, and this bit is Alcantara. And this screen trim here is actually Napa leather as well, and it uses the same technology as the steering wheel leather and gives you kind of a pearl effect. And these are punched holes in here. If you look closely, you can see kind of a green hue. Up close, it looks really nice. This car has electrically operated seats. You can move it upwards or backwards, as well as a actual side support. I think this is really useful for tall person, because normally you probably have a bit of your thigh left outside of the seat, has no support whatsoever. Now if I want to get out, I just need to press this button here and it opens up automatically, and the seat moves backwards as well for me to get out a bit easier. But because this car has a huge battery, 120 kilowatts, and it's all on the floor, the second row flooring is actually quite high, so I have to step up a bit to actually get in. Once you're inside, well, this seat is rather nice, to be honest. You have plenty of knee room. Well, the headroom is just okay. I think if you are over 6 foot, you may bump your head if you try to sit really up straight. But this seat can be leaned back, so you can really lay back and relax in here. This car is over 5 meters long, and the wheelbase is 3.15 meters. This is much why you have so much knee room, and also putting in these high-tech chairs in here. In the center armrest, you have a small screen. It's touch sensitive as well, and over here you can control your seat ventilation, air conditioning, the heating of the seat, your music as well. You can open up your armrest and it gives you a little storage place, and inside here you have two USB-C chargers. Once more, you have another storage place in here. I don't really know what this is for, to be honest. Is rather on the small side. It's not really a fridge. I think if they put in kind of a champagne fridge here, it'd be rather nice and suitable for the price of this car. This car has a huge panoramic sunroof. It goes all the way back to where the actual boot is. There is a bar here, and if you want to close your door, you don't have to go out and lean outwards. And there's a button here, just press it and it closes it automatically. And similar to the front car, if you want to open the door, there's a button here and it opens up. Now I'm on the road with the Hiphi X. I'm really quite excited. I can't really wait to try this car out. Now this car weighs 2.5 tons. It is quite a heavy car, but it has two electric motors, one at the front, one at the back, and together they produce nearly 500 kilowatts of power and 820 Newton meters of torque. And at sport mode, this car can do not 100 in 3.8 seconds. But I'm currently in the eco mode. The first thing I feel is really the weight of this car and the size of this car. I'm trying to do a U-turn. You might think, right, you probably struggle on a tight alley, but actually this car has got rear wheel steering, and when you're driving low speed it goes to the opposite direction, and when you're driving at high speed it goes at the same direction to aid stability. Now this really helps the car to maneuver in kind of a tight situation like I just had previously, and it doesn't really feel like a car that's 5 meters long. And also at eco mode, although this car is really wide, it feels rather just like a normal sedan. Like it's relaxed, is composed, you know where you're going. The steering wheel is still on the heavy side, but is really easy to control. And now I've got this 360-degree parking camera as well, and right, I'm out. This car's got a really small steering wheel, so it's easy to handle. It's also got air suspension as standard, so the suspension goes lower and higher according to the driving mode that you're having. So for example, if I turn it to the sport mode, right, the suspension lowers itself automatically, and I've got all the power in the world underneath my right foot. So I've got a red light coming up. If we just wait for the red light to turn green, and let's experience the 3.8 acceleration and see how my cameraman feels. 3, 2, 1, and now here we go. Wow. You can see the smile on my face, and I've actually felt a bit tingly on my left foot as well. I don't know, this acceleration is something else. I mean, to drive this huge car, 2.5 ton of a beast, to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.8 seconds, but this is really something else. This car looks good. It's probably a Marmite of a car, right? Some people probably love it, and some people may just hate it. There is no middle ground, to be honest. My cameraman hates it, but I mean, for the acceleration itself and the performance of this car, I mean, it's for me, it's worth it. There is no rear wheel mirror. This is a media player linked to the camera at the back, because there is no window at the back. It's all sealed up to give it the futuristic look. In this car, when you're driving at low speed, because this is all Alcantara, this is Napa leather, You just feel at home. Really, is as comfortable as any, sedan or family car that's currently on sale on the market. Thanks to the laser radar and also the ultrasonic radars around the car, you can see pretty much everything around you from the central screen here. And this car, apart from all these performance and safety features, it also gets voice control. So all you need to do is call its name. Hiphi Go.
我在。
导航到高和交付中心。
已为你找到多个高和交付中心。
第一个。
请问你要选择第几个？开始导航吗？
开始。You don't actually need to wait for her or she to finish its sentence, really. You can talk it in a continuous way. And now I've got the navigation switched on, this center screen, because it's so big. It's quite nice, I can see where I'm going. But as we said before, this car has no driver's display. There's only one head-up display, and it's rather on the small side, to be honest. There is limited information as well. You have your speed that you're going, you have the gear that you're in, you have the battery range that's left. You also have the road, or actually the route. So it tells you, when to do a right turn and stuff. But that's pretty much it. Another little feature I like is this thing. There is actually a hidden LED panel here. So for example, you turn your indicator on, it flashes. Well, I don't need you to tell me that my indicator is on, but it's rather a quite nice feature to show people. This is really a marmite of a car. You either love it or you hate it. But it is really a hell of a statement. If you drive it on the road, you probably get 100 people looking at you at the same time, all the time. And for the price, it's starting from just about $90,000 US, and the performance of 3.8 seconds to 100 kilometers. I think it's really, for someone who's looking for a statement of a car, rather than someone who's trying to buy their first vehicle for the family.